Okay, so we're going to start seated. So everybody has to come to a place that is comfortable for them. I can sit in this Sukhasana, easy sit pose for quite a while, but other people may just choose to do like pose of the student, one leg out, one knee bent, or Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together. So you'll find a place that works for you. We're just looking for a nice straight spine. Let your hands rest on your knees or in your lap. And start to close your eyes. Start that process of going inside. As you close your eyes, let the internal gaze move up to that space between the eyebrows. Come to the awareness of your breathing pattern, which gives you a lot of feedback and input of what you're bringing with you into your practice. So if you feel like the breath is kind of stuck in the upper lobes of the lungs, just take a nice deep breath right now and blow it out through the mouth. Just sigh it out through the mouth, letting it go. And then we'll do some very simple three-part breathing exercises, some pranayama to kind of slow the breath down, to calm the mind before we start our asanas. So as you inhale, start to just sip the breath in through your nose, what you perceive to be 1/3 of the way in, and then the next 1/3 of the way in, and then the final 1/3 of your breath all the way in. Hold the breath at the top for 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you're just going to open the mouth, sigh it out your mouth, let the whole breath go. And then as you inhale, sip the breath in through the nose, 1/3 of the way. And then the next 1/3. And then the full breath comes in. Hold the breath for 4, 3, 2, 1. Open the mouth and exhale. All the way out. Last time, inhaling 1/3 of the way in, through the nose, the next 1/3, the final 1/3. Hold the breath at the top, 4, 3, 2, 1, and blow it out through the mouth. Just sigh it out, make it very cathartic. And then just come back to natural, normal breathing for a moment. You can open your eyes if you'd like, or you could just keep the eyes closed to feel the postures. We're going to just come into eagle arms, cross the right arm over the left, and start to bring the backs of the wrists towards one another, maybe the backs of the hands. If it's available to you, you can interlace the wrists. And slightly, this might be 1 inch or 2 inches. You're going to move the arms, the elbows to the left as you look right. Just a little posture to feel what's going on in your shoulders, your back, and then bringing the arms back to center. Uncross and then recross, left elbow over right. Start to move the backs of the hands towards one another. Maybe interlace the wrists. Palms come together if it's available to you. And then start to move the elbows to the right as you look left. And then bring the elbows back to center, uncross, and then sweep those arms behind you. Either grab your wrists, maybe interlace the fingers together so that the webbing of the fingers come together, and start to roll those shoulders up into the ears and down your back. A little bit of a gentle squeeze, as if you have like a little lemon between the shoulder blades and you're squeezing them together. Maybe lift the hands up off of your tailbone an inch or 2 or 3, just to the point where you feel like it feels like a nice morning stretch. Not too far into the stretch this morning yet. And now we're going to take these hands, soft shoulders, and move the hands to the right waist. When you move the hands to the right waist, the right shoulder has a tendency to come up. Just drop it back down. Try to move right elbow to left and left elbow to right. Drop that left shoulder down and then tilt your head to the right. Take a nice deep breath into that left neck. Might be the first time you've noticed what's happening in this shoulder, in the neck. And then bringing the head to neutral. Move the hands to the left waist, interlaced fingers, or you can grab a wrist. Move the left elbow to right, right to left. Pull that right shoulder down and then tilt your head to the left. Left ear is coming in towards the left shoulder. Just until you feel an opening in that right side of the neck. And then release. And then start to bring your hands onto the knees. You can lift the knees up here so you can grab onto the knees. So they're going to be like a little assistant prop here for you. Grab the knees and start to let your back fall back, but you're using your arms to hold yourself up. You're really opening up that space between the shoulder blades as you trust yourself, falling back, that the strong arms are going to hold you up. And then inhale the chest up. So this is like a seated cow pose. Pull the elbows back into the ribs, lift the sternum, open the throat. Nice deep breath into that opening heart. And then tuck the chin, round the spine, tuck the pelvis, rock back. So this is like a seated cat pose. Inhale to your seated cow, look up, pull the heart forward. Exhale, rock back. You're now starting to engage the arms to robin's breath. So sweep the arms behind you, heart reaches forward. Exhale, sweep the arms forward, but the heart moves back. Inhale, rock forward, maybe a little bit more. Exhale, rock back. As you reach forward, heart moves behind you. Last time, sweep the arms behind you, heart forward. Exhale, rock back. Now this time, as you inhale, you'll sweep the arms up. Bring those arm bones next to the ears. Nice deep inhale. And then as you rock back, reach forward. Inhale, reach up. Arm bones sweep up to the ears, maybe behind the ears. Exhale, rock back, reach forward. Inhale, reach the arms up, hold the pose. So remember our bandhas. Pull in from the bottom floor, the perineum muscles up into your navel. Get a little bit taller through the spine, draw that navel back. And then let that right arm come down, sweep the left arm over the ear. Endeavor to keep that left sit bone planted, even as you form a nice C shape with the rib cage on your left. And then sweeping both arms up. Exhale over to the left. Side bend to your left. Sweep that right arm over the ear. For some reason, the shoulder feels wonky, you can also just sweep that right arm behind your waist and side bend. And then lifting up. And then bringing your awareness to this left leg. Extend your left leg out. You can bring a pillow under that right knee if it doesn't want to stay down. Start to slide your left heel out just until, if you have to bring your chest away from that thigh, stop sliding it out. Otherwise, try to keep that connection as you slowly slide that left heel out. Doesn't need to be straight. Wherever you found your end point for the moment, take a nice deep breath in. Maybe you slightly lift up off that left leg as you come to head to knee pose. Exhale, maybe drop forward another millimeter or two. Inhale, bring that breath in. This might allow you to lift up just a little bit more for length. And exhale, forward fold for depth. And then lifting up out of your head to knee pose. Keep sliding your left leg out, maybe 4 or 5 inches away from that right foot. Open the left palm and just set that left arm on the leg, or if you're feeling more open today, you can put it inside the leg so the elbow comes to the floor. This is not a big move. Just sweep that right arm up. And if you need more input, you can continue to sweep that left arm over the ear. Maybe you grab the toe, maybe not, maybe you're somewhere in between, doesn't matter. It's your practice. The sensation is just feedback for you to know how far to go. So it feels good. You feel like you're learning something new about yourself. And then lifting up. Start to twist to your right. So twist towards the bent knee. Sweep the left hand outside the knee. Right hand comes behind you, looking over the right shoulder. Roll that right shoulder blade back. Gaze over the right shoulder. Feel as if you're moving your intestines to the right to get your full potential of a twist. Nice deep inhale, get tall, and exhale, unwind, and extend the right leg out. Left knee bends, take the sole of the foot into that right thigh. You can take a pillow underneath that left knee if needed. Bend the knee to start. Start to just place the belly right onto the thigh. You can grab the ankle, maybe the foot, and start to slide the right heel out, a little or a lot. And then as your body starts to soften, you might notice it will gradually slide out a little more. So take a deep inhale, fill the body cavity, and then exhale, chin towards shin. Inhale, maybe lift up ever so slightly. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling, lift just a bit to bring that breath in. Find your length. And now find your depth as you bring chin towards shin. Inhaling, lifting up out of that head to knee pose. Move this right leg maybe 4 or 5 inches away from the foot. Open the palm to the ceiling and just let that right hand rest on the leg or inside the leg. Sweeping left arm up. Try to keep those sit bones on the floor. Maybe you side bend. Maybe you just keep that left hand up here. At some point, you'll decide after a couple moments that you could go deeper, or maybe you need to back out. And then lifting up if your side bent. Straight spine. Think about your navel now. This movement emanating from the belly. Turn to your left, to the bent knee. Take the right hand outside the knee and twist to your left. Your left hand is behind you. It's a little anchor. Looking over your left shoulder. Nice deep breath in. Find those bandhas, drawing the navel up into the heart and back. And then unwind, extending both legs out. If you have a pillow, you can stay on it or remove it if you have that prop there. So it doesn't need to be a really big V here, but try to flex the feet. Bring your hands behind you. Just lift up for a second so that you can get a nice base, a nice root for the sit bones. Bringing the hands in front of you. Take a nice deep breath in and then walk the hands out maybe an inch or two. And we're going to move into a cat-cow-like posture. So pelvic tilts. So tilt your tailbone towards your pubic bone, round the spine. And when you do, you might be able to walk the hands out an inch or two. And then looking up, come into your cow-like posture. Tilt your pelvis in the opposite direction. Look up, pull the heart forward. Exhale, round the spine. Maybe walk the hands out another millimeter. Inhale, tailbone tucks in the opposite direction. Concave back, look up. Take a breath, last time, round the spine into your cat posture. Walk the hands out, maybe a little bit more. And then come into your cow, looking up. Exhale, relax everything. Walking the hands back in towards the body. Bring your legs together. And start to come over onto your hands and knees into table pose. Now, more of a traditional cat-cow pose. Spread the fingers apart. Bring your knees under your hips or just behind them. And start to round the spine. Tuck the tailbone, tuck the chin. And now come into cow pose, looking up. Exhale, round the spine. Inhale, looking up. And now tucking the toes under, rock the hips back and come into a downward dog. So if this downward dog feels very tight this morning, just take your feet as wide as your mat. Roll the upper bones of the arms towards the ears and up, and from the elbows down, bring them in the opposite direction. So more weight is going to come onto your thumb and your pointer finger as you melt the heart between the armpits. Gaze is up at your belly button or between your thighs. Start to press your left heel in. Just start to bicycle it out. Right knee bends, left heel down, and then the opposite direction. Press the right heel in, left heel lifts. Bend that left knee, opposite side. Just a couple times back and forth as you open up and wake up that back side of the body. And then looking between your hands, start to walk your feet to the front of the mat into a forward fold. Inhale up onto your fingertips for length. Pull your navel in. And then a little deeper forward fold. Uttanasana. Press through both feet. Soft bend in the knees. Reach wide around and up. And exhale, palms in front of the heart. So you're going to stand on the short end of your mat. Face the long end as we prepare for Sun Salutations. So start with the palms together for a moment. Feet together. So you feel like this nice energetic loop through the whole body. Find your breath. And then as you inhale, reach up. Exhale to your right. Side bend right. Inhale, lift. Side bend left. Inhale, lift. Take a wide step to your left into a star pose. Open the heart. Feel like you're inviting that moon in, and then come to goddess pose. Bend the knees, bend the elbows. Make sure your knees are tracking in the same direction as your feet when you come down, or it could hurt. And then straighten the legs, press the floor away. Turn your right toes in, left toes out. Prepare for Trikanasana, triangle pose. Reach forward, forward, forward with that left hand. And drop the left hand to the shin, ankle, or the floor. Side bending to your left. Take a peek up at that right hand. And then watch that right hand sweep over the right ear. So you get this nice stretch all the way through the right side of the body. And then continue to sweep that right hand down. So your hands are on either side of that left foot. It's a little helpful here to bounce that right foot forward so the feet are facing or pointing in the same direction. Inhale up onto the fingertips for length. Exhale, chin towards chin, forward fold. Take a moment here as you sink into this pyramid pose. And then bending that right knee, you're going to come all the way down onto the right knee. Unfurl the right toes and come up into kneeling crescent moon pose. So they call it crescent moon because this back side of the body is going to form a shape of a crescent moon. So just let the shoulder blades drop down, lift the sternum up. Find your breath. And then lowering the hands down on either side of the left foot. Tuck your right toes under, lift that right knee up. We're just going to walk the hands over to the center towards the long edge of the mat. So you're in a wide, like forward fold. And fold and lift the sit bones up. As your heart melts down, hands can walk back in line with the toe tips. Bringing your hands to your waist. Draw your navel in to protect your back. That's a nice bunda there. Lift all the way up. Come back into your star pose. Open up the heart, invite the moon in. And now your goddess pose, bend the knees. And then we're going to go to the opposite side of the mat from where you started. Bounce your right foot up to left. Come to your left side of the mat, palms together. Find your breath. Inhale, lift up. Find a back bend. And now side bend to your left. Inhale up. Exhale, side bend right. Inhale, lift up, straight spine. Take a wide step to your right. Find your star pose. Exhale, goddess pose. Elbows bend, knees bend. Straighten both arms and legs. Turn your left toes in, right toes out. And come into triangle pose. Reach forward, 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 and down. Drop that right hand to the shin, ankle, or the floor. Side bend to your right, triangle pose. Start to move this left arm so you're gazing into that left palm. A little bit of balance challenge here as well. As you look into that left palm over the ear, continue to move that left hand down onto the floor. Hands on either side of the right foot. Maybe even out your hips. So your hip bones are facing the short end of the mat. You can bounce that left foot forward if you need to. Lift up onto the fingertips for length. Pull that right hip back. And then forward fold, shin towards shin. Pyramid pose on the right. Use your breath to move into the posture. A lot of times our mind is racing ahead and we miss the pose. Don't miss the pose. Don't miss this moment right now. Find your breath. And bend that left knee. Drop that left knee down. Sweep the arms up, coming into kneeling crescent moon. Now there's lots going on in that hip flexor here and that left quadricep. Looks simple. I think this pose falls into that category of simple but not easy. And then lower the hands down and then tuck the left toes under. Pick that left knee up and walk your hands around back to the center. Inhale up onto the fingertips for length. Exhale, forward fold. Sit bones high, chest low. Hands to the waist, lift up. Come into your star pose, open the arms, open the heart. Exhale, goddess pose, elbows bend, knees bend. And now you're going to bounce this left foot to the right. Come back to the right end of the mat, lift up, straight spine. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. Going to do that all over again. Inhale, lift. Side bend to your right. Inhale, lift. Side bend to your left. Inhale, lift, straight spine. Take a wide step, left leg out. Star pose. Inhale. Exhale, goddess pose. Bend the knees, elbows bend. Inhale, straighten arms and legs. Right toes in, left toes out. Trikanasana, triangle pose. Looking up into that right hand, sweep the right arm over the ear and continue to bring it down and around down to the floor. Bounce your right foot forward a little bit to release your hips. Inhale up onto the fingertips for length. Exhale, forward fold, chin towards chin. We're going to add on here, if you would like, to half moon pose. Walk your left hand out. This is your anchor. You can just bring your fingertips into the mat, soft bend in the knees, and then let all your weight come into this left foot. Maybe the back toes stay on the mat, or you can lift them up. You're going to stack right shoulder over left, hand to the waist, or maybe bring that right arm up too for half moon. Exhale, let that right hand come down, drop that right leg way back and drop the knee. Come back to your crescent kneeling moon, lift up. Offer the heart up and then lower down. Lift the right knee up. Come into your wide leg forward fold, facing the long edge of your mat. Hands to the waist, navel back into the spine as you lift up. Come into your star pose, looking up. Invite the sky in. Exhale, bend the knees, bend the elbows. Goddess pose. And then step your right leg to the left. Come to the end of your mat, palms together. Inhale, lift. Exhale, side bend to your left. Inhale, lift. Side bend to your right. Inhale, lift. Take a wide stance. Star pose. Exhale, goddess pose. Inhale, straighten the legs and arms. Turn your left toes in, right toes out. Triangle pose. Reach forward, forward, forward with the right hand and down. Left arm up. Take a gaze up into that left hand and let it sweep over the ear. And then all the way around. Drop your hands on either side of right foot. Make your adjustments. Inhale up onto the fingertips for length. Exhale, forward fold, chin towards chin. If you choose, now come into that half moon pose. Walking the right fingertips out. This is your anchor. Press into that right foot so much the left leg becomes buoyant. Maybe stack left shoulder over right, hand to the waist. Maybe left hand up. You want to really plug that left femur bone into the hip socket. Nice. And then lower that left hand down, drop that left foot way back and drop the knee. Kneeling crescent moon, reach up. Like you're holding on to that ball of a moon and sending it behind you. Exhale, lower the hands. Straighten both legs and face the long edge of the mat. Inhale up onto the fingertips for length in your wide leg forward fold. Forward fold. Hands to the waist. Navel into the spine to protect your back as you lift up. Take your arms up. Star pose, straight legs, straight arms. Exhale, goddess pose. Step your left foot up to right. Come back to the right edge of your mat. Feet together, palms together. Close your eyes. Find your breath. One more round on each side. We'll add a little bonus pose in here. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale, lift. Side bend to the left. Inhale, lift. Take a wide stance to your left. Inhale, straight legs, straight arms. Open the heart for star pose. Exhale to goddess pose. Inhale, straighten legs, right toes in, left toes out. Triangle pose, left arm down, right arm up. Sweep that right arm up and over the ear. Continue to bring that right hand down. So now both hands are on either side of the foot. You can bounce that right foot forward a little bit. Inhale, up onto the fingertips for length. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, find your half moon pose, if you like. If you're in half moon and you'd like to add on one more posture, we'll come to reverse half moon. This is not an easy pose, but it is kind of fun. Right hand down, twist to your left, left arm up. Always a challenging pose, so be gentle with yourself. Have fun with it, no judgment. Lower that left hand down if you're in reverse. And everybody now drop that right foot down and come into your crescent moon. Knee down, heart open. Move that imaginary moon behind you. Lower the hands down. Tuck the back toes under. And come back into your forward fold. Wide leg forward fold, facing the long edge of the mat. Hands to your hips, lift up. Come into your star. Exhale the goddess. Step the right foot up to left to the end of your mat. Palms together, feet together. Find your breath. Last side. Inhale, lift. Exhale, side bend left. Inhale, lift. Side bend right. Inhale, lift. Take a wide stance to your right. Come into star. Open your heart to the sky. Come into goddess. Bend the knees. Make sure that your knees are tracking with your feet. Straighten both arms and legs. Left toes in, right toes out. Trikanasana, triangle pose. Reach forward and down. Sweep that left arm over the ear. And then continue to bring that left hand all the way down to the floor. Hands on either side of the foot. Inhale up onto the fingertips for length. Exhale, chin towards chin. Inhale, half moon pose. Press into the right foot, stack left shoulder over right. Maybe bring that left arm up. You want to plug that left femur bone into the hip socket. If you're in half moon and you want to try reverse moon, lower left hand down, right arm up. Sweep that right arm up, stacking right shoulder over left. Lower that right hand. Drop that left foot, lower the knee, Kneeling crescent moon. Hold that moon up between your hands and bring it behind your head. Lower the hands. Tuck the back toes under. Turn to face the long edge of your mat. Last time, forward folding. Hips high, heart low. Hands to the waist. Strong belly as you lift up. And then take your left foot to right, come to the end of the mat. And let the arms hang a lot off your shoulders. Close your eyes. Feet together. Find your breath. Really appreciate that increased respiration. And we didn't even have to go run around the block a mile or two. Just moving our body against gravity. Now, taking your feet, facing the short end of the mat, take your feet to the edges of the mat. And we're going to start just onto a yoga squat prep. So forward fold. You can bring your hands to the floor, bend your knees as much as you need to get the hands on the floor. And then with your knees tracking in the direction of your feet, so make your adjustments. Start to lower down into this yoga squat. If this is not something your knees are going to appreciate, you're going to just come to seated, which is where we'll eventually all be. Otherwise, bring your palms together, hands to the inside or in front of the shins. Find your breath. You know, everybody, if you're not there, come to seated. And extend the legs forward. So maybe grab that flesh, pull it behind you. So you have a nice broad base there upon which to sit. Hands come alongside you, not so much to hold you up, but just to keep you a little stable, more balanced. Close your eyes in this Dandasana staff posture. Legs come together, ankles come together, feet are flexed. Very simple pose, but you can really appreciate the strength it takes to be in this nice upright seated pose. Find your breath. Let it go. And now bending the knees. You can bring your hands behind you for support. So we're going to stay in a supported boat pose, plugging the knees into the chest and extending the legs out. You can keep them bent, or you can straighten them, or you can even take your hands forward too. Lots of variations of boat pose, all beneficial. Be here 3 breaths. And then lower the feet, slide the hands back, roll those shoulders away from the ears and look up. If your wrists are okay with it, you're going to lift the hips up for reverse table, pressing into the circles of the palm. Maybe drop the skull back behind the shoulder blades. Exhale, if the hips are up, lower them down. Come into your second boat pose. Lift the feet up. You can stay here, straighten them, or straighten the arms. 3 breaths here. At the end of your 3rd breath, lower the feet, slide the hands back, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and lift the heart. Maybe lift the hips for a reverse table as an option. A little stronger option, but only if your shoulders and wrists are okay with it. Last round, lower the hips. Pick your knees up, pick your feet up for boat pose. You can stay here or extend both arms and legs out for 3 breaths. And once you're done, lower the feet, release your hands back, last reverse table, lift the hips maybe, drop the skull back behind the shoulder blades. You notice if you're doing this each time you do it, it's just a little bit easier. Lower the hips if they're up and come all the way down onto your back. Knees stay bent, feet flat. Just rock your knees from side to side like a little windshield wiper to release that lower back. Next time your knees are moving to the left, roll your right shoulder blade underneath you. And the next time the knees are rolling to the right, roll your left shoulder blade underneath you. So you want space between your ears and your shoulders. And start to move your fingertips down to touch the back of your heels, just to keep that measurement there as we come into a bridge pose. Start to press your lumbar spine flat to the floor, a little pelvic tilt, and lift the hips up. Press the shins forward, maybe interlace the hands underneath you. Rocking side to side to get some height, pressing into the backs of the arms. Chin remains neutral, even as the sternum lifts higher. And then with the arms moving out from underneath you, lower back down. Give yourself a squeeze here. Press the knees, pull the knees into the chest, releasing that back. So this is like a reclined child's pose. And then bringing your feet back to the floor. Take your right ankle on top of the left. Flex this right foot and press the knee away. For some people, this is plenty of a stretch for that right hip and the glute. You can stay here or thread the right arm between the two thighs. Find a bind behind left leg or all the way on top of the left shin if you're more open. Keep pressing the right knee away on the inhale. Exhale, pull that left thigh towards your face. Inhale, right knee presses away. It's just a tiny micro movement, not really perceptible to the eye, but you can feel it. Exhale, pull that left knee in towards your face. Inhale, right knee presses away. Maybe it's just the effort. Maybe it doesn't even move. Exhale, pull that left knee in. Find your breath. Let the breath do the work here. As you inhale, you're stretching from the inside out. You can feel it, the hips, the back, the inner groin, all open with the strength of that diaphragmatic breath. And whatever bind you have, release. Cross that right thigh over left. Arms come out to a T. Take a nice deep breath in, and then let the knees travel over to the left as you look right. Now, if this is too intense of a stretch for the lower back, you can uncross the knees as they fall to the left. Just play with it. This is gravity doing all the work now. And then picking the knees back up to center, uncross, and then cross the opposite leg or heel to your right thigh. So left foot crosses on top of the right thigh. Flex the foot, press the knee away. Maybe thread your left arm between the two thighs, finding a bind. You're interlacing your hands behind that right thigh or all the way on top of right shin. Find your breath. Nice deep breath in. Now you'll notice, as most people do, that one side is different from the other. Maybe old injuries or surgeries and anatomical differences. That's all we're getting into these poses for, is to just notice, to let them keep us in the moment, to learn from them. Now the benefit, the side benefit, the ancillary benefits are that we get stronger, more flexible, more balanced, more confident. But it is not the goal of yoga. If you still have your bind, you can release and cross the left thigh over the right, arms out to a T. Take a nice deep breath in and exhale the knees over to the right. As you look left, if your eyes were open, you would be looking maybe over that left middle finger. If you'd like to uncross your legs and just stack the top leg over the bottom, that's an option for the spinal twist. Also very beneficial. Let gravity do the work now. Challenge yourself to do nothing. And then bringing the knees back into your chest. Hug the knees in. And we're going to practice an inversion of your choice. So there's lots of options. This here, with the knees just hovering over the belly button, is an inversion. So if you want, you can just stay right here. Or you can start to straighten the legs, maybe hold on to the backs of the thighs. If you like, you can rock from side to side and bring a bolster, a pillow, or even your hands underneath your sacrum to elevate the hips. And finally, if you know full shoulder stand and you'd like to go into it, you can swing your feet behind you, get your hands flat to your back. Shimmy those shoulders and elbows together first, and then stack your feet over knees, knees over hips, hips over heart for full shoulder stand. All of these inversion options are beneficial. So find one that you can be in for about the next minute. And so your mind does not race ahead. Just let your internal gaze move up to that space between the eyebrows. Notice your breath. Let the breath slip in through the two nostrils, out through the two nostrils. Observe any sensation of what it's like to be upside down. As you give those valves in your legs a break, heart valves. So if you're in full shoulder stand, sweep the legs behind you first into plow. Release the hands from your back, and using your abdominal strength, roll on out. If you have hands or a block underneath your sacrum, you can remove that prop now. And everybody lower the legs to the floor. And once the heels come to the floor, we're going to come into a counter posture of fish. Just coming up onto your forearms, onto your elbows. Your hands will slide down close to your hips and thighs. Press into the floor, arch your upper spine, and come into the crown of your head, or just allow your throat to open. Your crown of your head may never touch the floor. What we're really looking for here is to open the throat, the chest area, to bring nourishment, nutrients to the thymus gland, the thyroid, the parathyroid. If you're in fish, release, slide your head back to the floor, chest or the back to the floor, and then hug your knees in. Arms out to a T one last time. This time, exhale the knees over to your right, stacking left knee onto right. Slowly surrendering. And inhale the knees up into the chest and over to the left. Now, for the next 30 seconds, choose to do any pose that speaks to you, that would feel like you've completed your practice before Shavasana. Some of you might choose to go right into Shavasana, and that's the pose you choose, and that's perfectly fine. But if there's some sort of a stretch, a twist, maybe even coming on your belly and doing some sort of a boat pose or something that would make you feel completed, take the next 30 seconds to do that pose. If you've done one side, make sure you've done the other side. And eventually making your way into corpse pose or Shavasana, sliding the right heel out until the leg is straight, and then the left heel out. And then opening your right palm, moving the arm a foot or two away from the body. And then opening your left palm. Roll your head over to the right. And then roll the head over to the left. And then eventually find a place to rest your head in a neutral, centered position. Let everything go now. The force of gravity enabled by this moon is very powerful. Rather than resist it, which might be our habitual thinking, surrender to it completely. Let any tightness in the chest go. Let whatever you were holding on to just fall into the earth. Bringing your attention to the right lower back. Squeeze the right buttocks and then relax everything. And then bringing your awareness to the left lower back. Squeeze that left cheek. And let it go. Relax everything. Bringing your awareness to your facial muscles, to the place between the eyebrows. Start to smooth it out, releasing any kind of creases that habitually live on your face. In that place where the hairline and the forehead meets. That's a muscle there too. Start to smooth it out. Softening through the scalp muscles that hold the ears. Releasing the ears, which will release your jawline. Even the lips might slightly part, but you're still breathing through the nose. In through the nose, naturally and normally, and out through the nose. Good to give yourself this time of rest, rejuvenation, reinvigoration. Imagine if you had a car engine and you just let it run all the time, 24/7. What would happen? Let this engine rest. You might be noticing the mind wanders off. It likes to do that. It likes to think and remember and fantasize about the future. So Patanjali, there's many translations of Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. These are the philosophies of yoga, but he really talks about the 5 activities of the mind. Each of them can be beneficial and each can cause problems. And 5 activities are comprehension, misapprehension, imagination, deep sleep, and memory. Misapprehension. Misapprehension is the state of mind that we're often in. And the aim of yoga, this practice, is to recognize and control the causes of misapprehension. That is all. All of these asanas, all of the meditations are just a way to see the truth of our minds. If you'd like, you can start to waken up the body. Just open and close your hands, bringing blood flow back into the arms. Take all 4 fingers around the thumbs and start to make circles with the wrist joints. And then start to make circles with your ankle joints. And then taking a nice deep breath in, bringing new life to this corpse, starting your lives all over again. Exhale and roll over onto your right side, coming into a fetal position. And once you roll over onto your right side, you might notice that your blood pressure is coming back to normal. And when you're ready, you can use the strength of the top arm to bring yourself up into a comfortable seated pose where we began. Taking your time. Let the hands rest once again on the knees. Eyes closed for just a moment. And just take this last moment on your mat to recognize any differences from the first time you were here an hour ago. Maybe appreciating some lightness, the shoulders falling away from the ears. The breath elongated and more efficient. And when you're ready to close your practice on the mat, bringing the palms together in this traditional gesture of gratitude. Maybe bringing some sort of a concept to your mind. Maybe an intention for the rest of your day. Something greater than yourself. And maybe dedicate the rest of your day to that intention. Bringing the same peace and gentleness to all you meet.